So how many four-wheel drives is too many? Well, when there's none left for anybody else. That's why I'm selling the 105 Series Land Cruiser and I'm selling the F250. Well, I've got to pay for the 200 Series. This is a 2014 200 Series that we've just purchased. In this video, I'm going to take you through it. I'm going to show you all about it. This is not stock. It's far from stock. It's actually a pretty cool vehicle. So we've actually had the vehicle for about 2 months, and it's probably the worst kept secret out there that we've got it, because heaps of me mates and so on have seen it and so on, but it's been hard keeping it off social media. So I've already done a few modifications that I felt were important to make it work the way I wanted it to work. So let's start at the front here. So we've fitted an opposite lock bull bar, and the reason we went with this style of bull bar is because we do a lot of outback touring and traveling at night and that sort of thing. We wanted a bit more protection. The bar that was on it was a beautiful bar. I actually really liked the style of it and the look of it, and it was just the lower section and then a single chrome hoop across the front there. Looked great, but it didn't provide that full protection that I was looking for. So we've gone for the opposite lock bar. Naturally, I've got the Ultra Vision 180s on the front. I, as you know, love the lights. These are the 4500 Kelvin lights, and so they're on there, and the MadMatt number plate. And then we've got a 12,000 pound winch in the front there as well. Over this side we've got our GME antenna, and then we've just got another GME, which is actually the antenna for the AM/FM radio. The engine's the V8 diesel, twin turbo out of the 200 series. All it's had done to it is the ECU has been flashed, so it's got a plenty of get up and go. Now it's got a 4200 kilogram GVM upgrade, and at that GVM it can tow 3.5 ton, which is why the F truck went. Now that makes me sad, but you know what? This makes Mrs. MadMatt happy, and that's better. See? This is the old Clearview 200 series, and I reckon a whole heap of you guys have probably checked this vehicle out. You see, Mike, who owns Clearview, he's a friend of mine and Mrs. MadMatt, and we went across the Simpson Desert with this vehicle last year in 2022 when we went over the Simpson Desert with the Off-Road Adventure show in the 79 series from all 4x4 spares. And we looked at this vehicle and we're like, oh, that's perfect, you know, and we just totally checked it out, fell in love with it. And we said to Uncle Mike, if ever it's up for sale, let us know. And earlier this year, he let us know. And I tell you what, we had to take a deep breath, because to make this happen financially for us was a stretch. But yes, that's the Clearview 200 series. So we feel absolutely spoilt rotten, I tell you what. So let's just take you through the rest of it, because as you can see, it's got this excellent Metalink canopy on the back, slide on. Being a Clearview vehicle and a showpiece for them, it's obviously well kitted out. So it's got the Clearview power mirrors on it, both sides, and they're really good for towing. I had the race car on the trailer when we went out to Cobar, had these out, and it was just brilliant. You could absolutely see down the side of the vehicle. What's more, here in Australia at least, you need to be able to have wide enough mirrors legally to see down the side of your vehicle. The other thing is we've got the Clearview power boards. So this is left and right, so that makes getting in and out of the vehicle really easy. And yeah, I like those. Come round inside and let's show you a few things inside. It's a 200 series inside, but it has got some Uncle Mike touches to it. He's got Clearview embroidered in the seats. He got the full interior totally custom done. We've got Clearview written in the doors. So it's fully branded, which is kind of cool. And he's also put seat heaters in here. So in winter in Brisbane, we won't get cold. Hang on, Brisbane doesn't get cold in winter. That's what they told me before I moved there. All right, but it's really comfortable to drive. I know many of you have driven and know the 200 series. Yeah, it's a 200 series, very comfy to drive. We've got the GME XRS UHF in here. We've got a, over here we've got a torque converter lockup system, which works well. We've got a scan gauge up on the top here, which gives you, your automatic temperature, transmission temperatures, your speed, all of that sort of information and stuff. Plus it's a code reader. And then the obvious cruise controls, all the features you'd expect. So it's really comfortable. Like today, I've just smashed out 400 Ks. Yesterday I smashed out 600 Ks. Tomorrow I'll probably smash out 800 on the trip we're currently on, and it's just comfortable. Now the other thing it's got, which is cool, is fuel range. It's got 260 litres of fuel on board. Now I think if you were doing sort of just an empty touring run, you'd probably be able to get around 1300 Ks out of that fuel range. Anyway, at the moment, you know, we're towing a car trailer and got a bunch of weight on the back, so it's a bit irrelevant. But what I'm finding is it's probably returning about 25 litres per 100, sitting on 110 when you got a trailer behind you. So I'm pretty happy with that sort of economy. When I'm empty, like as in the slide-on campers off the back, I can get right down in, I think I must be getting down under 10s. But again, I haven't owned the vehicle long enough to really know all of those numbers. But she's got some get up and boogie. I tell you what, you can, she hauls. So it's quite good fun to drive. So from here, I reckon it starts getting pretty interesting. So it's had the creative conversions, dual cab conversion with a 650mm chassis extension. That's which just, well, it makes it pretty awesome. It has its limitations when it comes to really serious off-roading. Like the 105 would outwheel this every day of the week, but the compromise is the 105 doesn't have the comforts of this. So we'll start showing you some of that in a minute. Now, just in this area, obviously we've got these lockers here, which are great for storing stuff, one on each side. At the back of the car on each side, we've got a locker, which is great for handy for storing stuff, as you can imagine. In this side, we've got a clear view tyre spider. So for airing up all your tyres, you've got the hoses and everything there. I keep a snatch strap there at the moment. I'm still working out how I want to live in this vehicle, but yeah, it's great having that sort of storage. All right, let's have a look inside here. So starting at the front of the canopy area, we've got two water tanks. We've got 70 litres of drinking water here, okay? And we've got an under tray water tank of, I believe that's another 70 litres. So we've got 140 litres of water, which is a huge amount of water. Now, this bottom tank has another purpose, which we'll get to in a minute. We've got a 900 watt 240 volt inverter up here. A lot of the electrics in the vehicle, I'm actually going to work with the guys at Revolution Power to redo the electrics to suit our needs. We want to get into some induction cooking, and because we use the vehicle different to the way Uncle Mike did, we need to charge cameras and all of that sort of stuff. So we're going to put in our own designed system shortly. So we've got an angle upright fridge. Now, I must confess, I was pretty dubious whether we'd even keep it in the vehicle, but we've been camping with it a heap now, and yeah, it's staying. It's actually really good. What we do is we run another 40 litre fridge on the other side of the canopy, which I'll show you in a moment. Saying that, I don't actually have that fridge in there at the moment. It's one we can take in and out depending on the trip. To put the slide on and off the tray, there's some legs that slide in here and you can crank them up and down and stuff, and then it's latched on with these 4 latches, and that's it, which surprises me, but it works, and it's been working for the 270,000 Ks of the car so far. So hey, there's a solution that works. In this area, we've got a locker up the top here, which we can access from inside the camper. We've got storage all through here. We're still working out how to use that for ourselves. We've got a table which comes out here, which is great for lunch. Like this morning on the road, we just pulled that out, cooked up some lunch, easy as. We've got lights up on the top of the canopy here. All of this area up through here has been water sealed, so when it's raining, water doesn't leak in through this area, which is, again, really, really nice. We've put our Darshi 270-degree awning up there, and yeah, so that's what we've got up there at the moment. Don't need it tonight, so I haven't set it up, but I'm sure you've all seen the 270-degree awnings. So I'm sure many of you saw the process Mrs. Matt and I were going through with the 105, trying to work out a sleeping arrangement. And then we did a couple of reviews of the Darshi rooftop tents, and we did swags, we did all of this and that. At the end of the day, we couldn't find a solution that was super comfortable, easy and fast to suit our sort of application. And this is what just tipped us over the line, and we went, this is what we've got to get into. So this is the rear access to the comforts. So come on over, you'll see we've actually got a toilet here. Now it's just a simple chemical toilet. We've got a hot water service in underneath there, so we actually have a shower, and I'll show you that shortly. You climb up into here. There's enough space for us both to stand here and get changed or whatever you're wanting to do for privacy as well. And then the mattress arrangement is a little bit larger than a double mattress. The mattress is a nice inner spring mattress, and then we've got a memory foam topper, and it's just about as comfy as the bed at home. You have a really comfy sleep. So that totally solved the issue of not sleeping so well when we were out camping. Up in the top there, there's heaps of head space above the bed, and there's plenty of ventilation up there that's easy to, just typical sort of undo the zips on canvas sort of stuff. The actual top, the roof of this is electric, so there's a switch here, winds it up, winds it down. It's so easy. Literally, we can stop, and if we're just sleeping on the road, so oftentimes we'll drive till 9:30 at night, find a little area we can pull over. Literally, we can be in bed in under 10 minutes. It's like having a caravan, and that's what we needed for our application. And so we're just loving the way this works for us. Now we keep a little step ladder here, which is so we can just get around, because the car is kind of high. Even just setting up the awning, even I at 6 foot need that little ladder, but it's handy. It's just a nice convenient place to store it. And then this ladder has nice big treads on it, so even getting out of that in bare feet, it's comfy and easy. And then we got a nice gear bag on the back there for the rubbish. Just prior to the Simpson Desert trip last year, Uncle Mike said to me, we were chatting, and he's like, what tyres, he said he's up for tyres, what tyres should he put on the vehicle? I said, well, I'd be putting the Maxxis Razor ATs on. And he did. And his words, after he'd run them across the desert and done some trips with him, he was like, they're a good tyre, aren't they? Anyway, there you go. So for me, it was easy. I had the tyres that I was running on the 105, they're now straight up on this, and we can just continue on. So it's got 350 watts of solar on the roof there, and when we were at Cliffhanger Race, we had 3 fridges running pretty much off solar for the whole 10-12 days that we were out there, and that did the whole job. So it's got heaps of solar, it's really nice just being able to park and not even have to start the car. Currently, the AGM batteries, there's 2 of them in under here. So obviously when I upgrade or change, I should say, the electrical system, that'll all go. This has got some Red Arc gear in there and a bunch of stuff, but it's all like 10 plus years old. It's in good nick, it works well. We aren't having any dramas with it, but we just need it to work differently for our application. This whole space here was the other reason we loved this vehicle. We're still in the process of setting it up, so it does look like a bit of a mess at the moment. But the fact that we've got all of this space to store Starlink, to be able to, the spare tyre is supposed to live up in there, but because I'm running a slightly different size spare tyre, I've got to modify some things. But, we've got the shovel lives here for us. This table, it comes out. That ladder at the back, it lives in here. And then we've just got this massive space here where we can store all the camera gear. And for us, that can, some trips, that's, 10 boxes of different kit that we need to take on the shoot with us. We can just have it all stored here. You can even work out of it here depending on the setup. You can open a box and stuff and get your camera out or whatever you're trying to do. This was, it's hard to express when you don't understand how we use the vehicle. It's hard to express how much this little things like this mean to us. It just makes life easy. So when we had the 40 litre fridge, that's been sitting here and that's been working really well for us. And then we've got a shower. So I mentioned that we had the other tank underneath the tray. That feeds a pressure pump, feeds the hot water service, and then we can have a beautiful hot shower in this little space here, and that takes 2 minutes to set up. It's that easy. So generally speaking, if you want a hot shower, then you're going to be just turn the hot water service on sort of 15 minutes before you pull up. It'll heat the water up while you're driving. You can do it off the batteries, it just sucks a lot out of the batteries. and then you're going to have a hot shower. Now, for Mrs. MadMatt, that sort of stuff matters. And if it matters for her, it matters for me. So, you know, just having a toilet where you can go on the side of the road. Sometimes you know how it is, ladies, you can't get a private place to go to the loo. Now Mrs. MadMatt has that, and there's times I appreciate it too. We've got a shower, and it just means when we do those longer trips where we're on the road for a couple of weeks, there's a little bit of, you know, just privacy and comforts that make a real difference to the work that we do. Anyway, guys, there it is. We're pretty chuffed, as you can tell. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It sort of feels a little bit self-indulgent, like look at me. But we're really excited because we've been trying to find this solution for quite some years, and yeah, it's proving to be absolutely brilliant. So thanks, Uncle Mike, for letting us know that you were going to sell it. Catch you guys, I'm MadMatt. Stay safe on the trails.